What up, guys? Your boy Quake, and a lot of new information has come out about this battle between Drake and Pusha T, and it's from both sides of the party. As we know, earlier this year, Drake and Pusha T finally got into a battle going against each other. Pusha T revealed a lot of close information about Drake, and Drake decided to respond, but a lot of people weren't happy with that response. And Drake decided not to do interviews when the album dropped because he knew it would be filled with questions about his son and the things that Pusha T accused Drake of doing. So instead, when he released the Scorpion album, he ended up releasing a few tracks and updating the album that talked about these different things that Pusha T accused him of doing. But finally, Drake decided to break his silence in sort of an interview on LeBron's TV show called The Shop. In there, he decided to talk about all these allegations and talked about his son and his issues between Kanye West and Pusha T. And during the sit down, a lot of what Drake said was what I was saying in past videos, and he basically confirms that he went to Wyoming, like I said, played a song called March 14th, which is a song about his son, talked to Kanye about his son, opened up to him, and Kanye, basically said, you need to open up to me if you want me to produce for you, if you want us to work together in a really cohesive way. He also mentions that he walked away with the Lift Yourself beat, and then when he saw Kanye West release it and basically only say scoopity poop on the whole track and not even spit anything, he knew that Kanye wanted to get at him and trolled him on that whole song and basically played him. And that's what I said in previous videos, exactly what Drake said right there. And Kanye has a major role in this, whether he admits it or not, because if this is exactly what happened, then Kanye was the fuel for all of this.
I'm just really excited to be a great father. I was out there and I spent all my time pretty much working on his stuff. And again, I left Wyoming and I was like, okay, well, we left with Lift Yourself and like a pat on the back, so it was like, all right.
It's all good.
Well, I guess, yeah, sure, I'll try and make the most of this, and hopefully he sends some other things through. By the way, I'm in Wyoming, I play him March 14th, I send him a picture of my son.
Oh my God.
I tell him I'm having trouble with my son's mother. We had a conversation, I shared I wake up, and all these dates are out, one by one, all around June 15th, by the way.
Correct.
One's May 31st, one's June, whatever.
First, second,
Yeah,
June this, June that.
Lift Yourself comes out with him just talking nonsense. I'm like, oh,
Scoobity poop that round. Yeah.
Oh, this guy's trolling. This guy's trolling me. Yeah, he's this was like a manipulative, like, I want to break you thing. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go back to distancing myself again. I know what this is.
As Drake kept talking about Pusha T and his diss, he decided to mention that there are rules in hip-hop and that Pusha T simply took it too far on the story of Adidon. He mentioned his parents getting mentioned in the song. He said he didn't really care too much about that. He said his son being mentioned, he didn't care too much about that. But when Pusha T mentioned his producer 40 getting sick and saying that he's going to die, that's when he took it too far. But I find this ironic because Drake was the one that decided to go at someone other than Pusha T in his diss response on the Duppy freestyle first. So he was the one that crossed the line when he spit that line saying, I'm gonna let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. That's when Drake decided to drag in Pusha T's wife into this battle, and that's what prompted Pusha T to mention all those people on the response track, which was the story of Adidon. So to me, it was ridiculous for Drake to say that there are rules in hip-hop and that Pusha T simply took it too far when he was the one that started that first. He should have never mentioned anyone outside of Pusha T and Kanye West in that diss track. Besides, if you're a hip-hop historian, you know that really there's been way worse diss tracks and lines have been crossed that have been insane, way worse than what Pusha T has said.
The first album drops, and of course there's a diss song towards me you produced that's talking about writing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm writing for you.
I was just there with you as friends, helping you. you know, people love to say, like rap purists and people who just love conversation, they love to say, hey man, there's no rules in this shit, but there are fucking rules in this shit. Of
course.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It's like, I knew something was gonna come up about my kid. They had to add like the deadbeat thing to make it more appealing, which is fine, and I understand that. And even that, I was like, okay. The mom and dad thing, whatever. You don't even know my family. It's like some, but I'm gonna tell you, wishing death on my friend that has MS, I study rap battles for a living. Now, when you mention defenseless people who are sick in the hospital that passed away, that really sent me to a place where, you know, I just believed then and believe now that there's just a price that you have to pay for that. It's over. You're gonna get, someone's gonna fucking punch you in the fucking face. The shit's done, the event's over. I wanted to do other things. I didn't want to further your reputation or your career by rapping back at you and having this exchange. And that was it for me.
Drake got so mad at that he decided that he did not want to go back and forth with Pusha T in releasing a response diss track because Pusha T simply took it too far, and now at this point it needs to get physical. He said someone's going to punch him in his face. But Drake does mention an unreleased response diss track that he wrote, and when he sat down after a few hours or after a day, he said he did not feel comfortable releasing this diss track because of how much information and how much damage he could have possibly done to Pusha T and Kanye West. In saying that, Drake, though, in a very subtle way, admits that he took the L against Pusha T because he said he'd rather have a chink in his armor, meaning, you know, a loss in this battle or something along the lines that in terms of his career, than release a diss song that could potentially ruin two people's lives. So when he said that chink in the armor line, to me, Drake sees it as a loss. He does see it as like, I took this L in this battle and it is what it is. And if that's how the public views it, we're just going to keep it like that and I'm going to keep it going.
And you wrote the song and never put it out?
Yeah, because I got home and I just listened back to it and I was like, man, this is not something I ever want to be remembered for. This is not even a place that I necessarily want to go. And to all the people who enjoy that, I tip my hat to you. By the way, hell of a chess move. The song, I thought it was trash, but the chess move was genius. Back against the wall, I either go all the way filthy or I fall back and I have this sort of chink in my armor for the rest of time to a rap purist, which is fine, I can live with that. You know, I would much rather live with that than the things that I was about to, the research I did, the things that I was gonna say, and the places that I was gonna go, not only for him, but the other guy too, you know? And now I feel pure, I'm good.
Then after that, he said all the energy and anger that he had pent up in releasing that diss track, he decided to take that energy and make more songs on Scorpion, and he ended up making songs like Mob Ties and a song that a lot of people allegedly was referring to Kim Kardashian. The song that he mentioned, he said he created after that whole battle with Pusha T was In My Feelings, and I feel like a lot of people did not notice that Drake mentioned that. As we all know, there's the rumors around that In My Feelings, when Drake says Kiki, he's talking about Kim Kardashian. So the fact that Drake made that song right after all these issues with Pusha T and Kanye West may mean that's the subtle or like the sneak dissing diss track towards Kanye West. I mean, what better way to get in someone's head than say that you slept with someone's wife and to make that track a #1 song, which was, that song has been #1 for a while, and I don't even know, I think it's still in the top 10 or top 20 still. And a lot of people missed that. When Drake said that, I feel like a lot of people weren't talking about that, how he made that track after the whole issue with Pusha T and Kanye West. If he made it before that whole issue, then that song would be looked at in a different light, but it was made after. So all those allegations that that song is about Kim Kardashian seem to have more validation now.
I took that energy, just like you said, I took that energy and I put it into me, not you. You don't get that from me.
You told me you didn't have certain songs on Scorpion until that.
I didn't have In My Feelings, I didn't have Nonstop, I didn't have,
what's one of our favorite songs, Mavi, now?
Sick of these niggas.
Oh my God.
I didn't have Mob Ties.
Oh, I'm sick of these niggas.
After all that, Pusha T heard everything that Drake said and decided to appear on Joe Budden's podcast just recently, about a day ago. In a 3-hour-long interview, he talked about Drake and where the information actually came from. And it turns out it wasn't from Kanye West, but it was from Drake's close friend and producer, 40. And it turns out 40 did not directly talk to Pusha T, but 40 had a relationship with a girl, and he ended up indulging a lot of information to that female that he slept with. He ended up talking about Drake's son and how Drake has issues with his baby mama, and even Pusha T said that 40 said that he told this girl that he was upset that Drake was getting all the fame and notoriety and that he wasn't getting much of it. Now, if all of what Pusha T said was true, this definitely puts Drake in a weird situation when it comes to his own team. It definitely makes Drake think twice about who he has around. And I think ultimately that's what Pusha T wants to do, is to get into Drake's head, to maybe make him mad enough to release that diss track and to keep going back and forth with him.
The information came from 40. It didn't come from Kanye. At all.
Okay.
40 is sleeping with a woman who begins to, he talks to her daily, 5-6 hours a day.
Oh, she must have a great personality.
Yeah, bruh. Come on. Listen, talks to a woman 5-6 hours a day, provides opportunity for.
Provides
opportunity for.
He's a great guy.
And ultimately speaks about how he's disgruntled about certain things, notoriety and things involving Drake and his career, so on and so forth.
To this young lady.
Yes.
Okay.
With that also came the fact that Drake has a child. With that also came the trip that everybody took to go see the child and bring them gifts and all of this information.
Pusha T is very smart in saying that 40 was the one that was involved in indulging that information about his son, because if you guys remember in the LeBron James sit down with Drake, Drake was mainly upset about 40 getting attacked on the track instead of the other things. And I think Pusha T took note of that and decided to reveal in his interview that, there's more to this and that has to do more with 40, and that 40 is the driving factor of how this whole thing started. And the crazy thing is Pusha T spit some bars in a 2015 track called MPA, in which he mentions this very exact moment. He says in those bars, "New bitch I've been fucking might start a rap war, won't unveil it yet, can't tell it yet. Defense wins games, Bill Belichick." So it seems like Pusha T knew that 40 had something against Drake for a while now. And like I said, we don't know if it's 100% true. We don't know which side of the story is true. Pusha T goes on to say, though, that if Kanye gave him the information and that, Kanye gave a picture of Drake's son to him, he would have used that picture as the artwork for the track, The Story of Adidon. He said, if Kanye really gave me that information and gave me a picture of Drake's son, I would have definitely used that picture. I wouldn't have mind using that at all. Then Pusha T talks about how Drake tried to pay people that were close to Pusha T $100,000 to try to get dirt on Pusha T for his next diss track. And this is something that Pusha T tweeted in the midst of the battle in like May or June on Twitter, that Drake was trying to pay people $100,000 to get dirt on him. So Pusha T decides to reveal a bunch of recorded voicemails and calls towards people that were close to him, that people were offering $100,000 to get dirt on him. He reveals that a girl by the name of Cap, who was very close to him earlier in his music career, tried to contact a bunch of Pusha T's old people, like his old DJ, to try to get dirt on him. And apparently this girl was very close to Pusha T. He went to her baby shower and looked out for her on various occasions, and he was very upset that she tried to do this against him.
I call him the next day. I'm like, yo, what's up? He's like, listen, niggas is out here offering $100,000 for you, and in regard to in regard to this whole beef. And talking to him, he puts his man on phone, who another guy who I wasn't cool with. His name is Fetty, and they was just like, yo, for real, on some VA shit, like, man, there's no way we gonna even participate in something like this against you. And beyond that, it's this girl on the phone who keep talking like she your sister, but she steady trying to get info to kill you.
I mean, I feel like for what they're dealing with right now, some of the stuff that might be more, that might get niggas in trouble, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
shit like that, that's probably better.
That's the sister.
Unless it's just like
The sister.
wilder. I think maybe that's left off the table because, you know, people don't want to be dry snitching and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Whereas something like a baby, like, you can't throw stones in a glass house. You know what I mean? Like, that is very relevant to the whole situation. So I don't know. You want to call me back with the DJ?
That's a woman who I'm at your baby shower with my wife. I'm inviting you to my wedding, and you would even attempt to dig up dirt to the tune of, and what was good dirt to you was me having like a secret baby. And this is who I call my sister.
And that lady Cap decided to respond on Twitter to Pusha T's allegations and said that, and again, for the record, Aubrey Graham, which is Drake, is solid as fuck. We ain't playing industry games here for clickbait. I worked for years to make all that fake beef never happen, and look, this fake shit, clickbait, it's tiring. Miss me with this. Division is a devilish act. Creating fake beef with people with nothing but love is fugazi. Sticking up for your friends, always admirable, quote me. Then Pusha T talks about how Kanye West wants to end the battle with Drake and that they want to be friends again. Pusha T says he has nothing to do with that and that Kanye is his own man and he can do whatever he wants, but he will still have issues with Drake. And that's about it for both sides of the recent interviews that came out from both artists. Let me know what you guys think. Whose side of the story do you believe more? Do you believe Pusha T's side more, or do you believe Drake's side more? Overall, Pusha T's side of the story is very interesting because he is using 40 as a catalyst for this whole beef and how it even started. The fact that in the LeBron interview, it got under Drake's skin that Pusha T mentioned 40, it seems like Pusha T noticed that and is now using 40 as someone that was the main reason why this even happened. And it's very smart on Pusha T's end because now Drake is going to think about whether he wants to release that diss track and whether he's going to continue doing work with 40. So with that being said, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse mentality. For just $1 a month or more, you can help support this channel further. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I do videos like this daily on hip-hop news and much more. So definitely subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. Like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.